The anatomy of Armenia's today's calamity and nightmare is glaringly evident. Error upon error by Nikol Pashinyan has cascaded into war and the initial partial loss of Nagorno-Karabakh. Subsequent missteps have culminated in the complete loss of Nagorno-Karabakh and the eventual mass expulsion of its populace, while ongoing blunders have thrust Armenia into a crucible of sacrifice. Following the 44-day war, rather than acknowledging his errors and missteps and endeavoring to rectify them, Pashinyan chose to delve deeper into justifying these errors. This has manifested in either stubbornly doubling down on mistakes or shifting blame onto other parties. These cascading failures and unilateral compromises continue today under the guise of border delimitation and demarcation. What transpired in Tavush, for example, and what will still happen in other parts of Armenia if this left unchecked, has nothing to do with delimitation. These are outright territorial concessions from Armenia's sovereign territory, violating Armenia's territorial integrity and constitution. Any normal delimitation between two neighboring countries requires certain conditions: peace, diplomatic relations, legitimately established committees, and internationally accepted delimitation guidelines, to name just a few. And none of these exist. The only justification given by Armenian authorities is that if we do not concede to Azerbaijani demands, there will be war. They are either ignorant, lying, or simply not being honest. Armenia and the Armenian people have serious peaceful diplomatic alternatives. However, I must insist, the successful implementation of these diplomatic alternatives must be based on several principles. First, we must stop operating under the constant fear of war. Our guiding principle should be our national interest. We need to understand that international politics and diplomacy is a process of reconciling and regulating national interests, not of unilateral concessions. This process does not imply a naturally harmonious, peaceful world, nor the inevitability of war. Instead, it involves ongoing adjustment of conflicting interests through diplomatic action. Thus, secondly, and this is the key, we must define and refine our national interest, balancing new realities we face with our fundamental yet measured rights, balancing our past and future. And it is here that we must have an open, sincere, robust, and honest national discourse. This definition of interest cannot be left to a narrow group of people or the imagination of one individual. This will require collective input. However, any redefinition of our national interest cannot come at the expense of our fundamental rights, national identity, or the pillars of our statehood. Look, since our independence and in the following years, our statehood has been anchored on 5 pillars: Nagorno-Karabakh, the army, the constitution, the Armenian Apostolic Church, and the diaspora. Today, those pillars have either been weakened or destroyed. This government lost Nagorno-Karabakh, that is Artsakh, diminished the army, violates the constitution on a daily basis, persecuting the church, and ignoring and humiliating the diaspora. We have a monumental task ahead of us to rebuild the pillars of our statehood. This will only be possible with a national government characterized by solidarity, unity, consensus, and faith.